If I cared what other people thought about how many things that I wanted to do, I'd still be stuck on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, getting taken to strip clubs and doing shots of woo-woo at like 4 p.m. every day. Anyone who's new to that phrase, multi-passionate, that's a term that I coined way back in the early 2000s because I was having a hard time fitting myself into a conventional career box. There were so many things that I was pursuing, like life coaching and dance and fitness and writing and speaking. And it was all under this umbrella of entrepreneurship. But here's the thing, I constantly felt ashamed and self-conscious when people at parties would ask, "What do you do?" That is when I came up with that term. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. And seriously, it was like the clouds parted and the angels sang. The truth is, many of us have multiple strengths and passions, but we never give ourselves permission to explore and cultivate them. But I gotta tell you, some of our greatest cultural icons have.
Passion is actually an inside job. So I learned this from bartending because I used to show up at the bar and hate it and be like, I should be doing bigger things. I'm smarter than this. I'm better than this. I should be further ahead by now. Then I did a whole check yourself before you wreck yourself thing. And I was like, wait, Marie, this is your life right now. And how you show up in each moment is actually training for the future you. So I need to turn this beat around and start bringing my most enthusiastic, engaged, energetic, professional self to that bar. Make the best freaking damn drinks you can make. Treat everyone like they're a king or a queen. And I have to tell you that one move of stopping trying to find passion outside of myself and bringing passion to everything that I do, that was a major move, and it hasn't left me since. Because we all find ourselves, right, in places like you're waiting on an airplane, TSA line, that's like not going anywhere, and you can be grumpy and complain, you can be in a line at a bank, you can be sitting in traffic, and for those moments, that is your life. We humans, our lives are at least 40% habitual. This is according to research. So if during your day you're like, this isn't good enough, I'm not where I should be, no, you are training yourself to be miserable. Where the flip side, the whole mindset shift is like, no. My business is actually the energy I bring to each moment. And your energy does precede you.
I want you to play in private. So you don't have to announce every time you're going to try something new. That way, when you say you want to switch to running a bakery, you don't have to hear everyone say, "What happened to training horses?" Just because you can throw up a new website or start a new Instagram account in like 4 minutes does not mean you should. And if you do, you don't have to put out a press release about it and tell the whole world. I mean, it makes no sense to tell everyone to look at you if you're not really ready to be looked at quite yet. In other words, play with yourself in private. There is no such thing as a safe path. If you're gonna build a business, please build a business you love. I know you want to be responsible here. And yes, it is your responsibility to take care of yourself financially. And yes, you are an adult and you need to make adult choices. But it's also your responsibility to do what you were put on this earth to do. It is your responsibility to find a way to express what only you came here to express. It won't be simple. It's not going to be easy, but one thing you can bet on by taking the inspiring path is that you will never, ever live a day in your life saying, "What if?" And that is the safest bet that you can make. Most creatives have more than one thing they want to focus on, and it always creates some challenges. Now, there's no one-size-fits-all answer to this question, and in order to find the best path ahead for you, the first thing you got to do is get really clear on your goals, both in the short term and the long term. So for instance, if fast growth and a greater chance of higher revenue more quickly are really important to you right now, focus on just one business. I mean, give your everything to that business and trust that you can always start a second business or you can transition to another business a little further down the road. Now, on the other hand, if you're like me and you must do more than one thing because both these ideas are just burning a hole right through your heart, know that you can do that, but there are consequences. Now, the positive ones include being able to strengthen different skills and learn more about what you like and what you don't like. But on the downside, you need to be okay with growing each business perhaps a little more slowly, likely making less money, and you got to embrace the fact that your life will probably be a little more messy and chaotic. Hard happens. Look, things in life get hard. I mean, we can all agree on that, right?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, definitely.
But seriously, do not get caught up in the myth of flow. Yes, sometimes things do flow, but not always. Very often, you know what? Things do get hard. So don't believe anybody when they tell you, oh, if it's really right for you, it's so easy and it flows and it's a natural unfolding of your you-ness. Natural unfolding, ma badunkadunk. You know what unfolds naturally? A bath towel. Kind of. So I've had lots of projects that are totally worthwhile. And you know what? Hard things actually pop up. So when that happens for me, I realize I got to dig in deeper and push through. Sometimes it means I take a little break, or sometimes it means I change my approach. But the point here is, obstacles don't mean you should quit. Sometimes you really got to push through. You are going to develop a bias towards action. So what does that mean? You're going to focus on taking small steps every single day towards this new career. Remember, clarity comes from engagement, not thought. I'm telling you, you don't need to know all the steps in advance, just what you need to focus on right here and right now. And anytime you find yourself slipping into overwhelm or thinking about how much you still have to do, how far you have to go, how much is ahead of you, I need you to stop, take a breath, and ask yourself this question. What's the next right action step here? One more time. What's the next right action step here? And then I need you to listen for the answer. It may be as simple as go drink a glass of water, or maybe it's contact 5 local businesses and offer to write their newsletter in exchange for a testimonial, or maybe it's set up a services page on my website. It doesn't have to be anything major, but there is always a small, tangible action step that you can take to move your new business ahead. Remember, everything is figure-outable, including making this career change. Clarity comes from engagement, not thought. You see, when it comes to a lot of big life decisions or business decisions, sometimes you just can't figure it out in your head, and you can't even figure it out on paper. You have to find a way to experience it. So I want you to ask yourself, is there some way that you can test drive this opportunity? Can you take a first step? Can you take a class? Can you do a test run in some way? Can you try it on a small scale, even if it's just an experiment? So for example, if I was considering, let's say, moving to Sicily, I wouldn't just pack up my things and sell my house and jump on the next plane to Palermo, right? I would figure out a way first to perhaps, I don't know, rent an apartment, try living there for a few weeks and see what it actually feels like to work there and walk around the neighborhood and eat spaghetti every night. The same thing is true with, let's say, changing careers. Can you find a way to do an internship or a test project or take a class in that field before you quit your job and announce to the world that you are leaving your profession? You see, the beauty of the Work It test is that you can try something out before you go all in. And I gotta tell you, whatever decision that you wind up with, know this. Despite our fears, most decisions, they're not permanent. Most things you can stop or evolve or reverse. Or, in the words of the great Missy Elliott, is it worth it? Let me work it. I'll put my thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
You can have extremely high standards for yourself and not fall into the downsides of perfectionism. So high standards can be healthy, perfectionism blows. We don't want to go there. And here's what helps us stay out of it. A little mantra called progress, not perfection. So instead of trying to get things perfect, which is really unachievable, all our metric is progress. Have we learned something? Have we pushed this project ahead even a little bit? And I'll tell you this, even when you fall on your face, even when you scrape your knees, even when you have a quote unquote temporary failure, that's still progress. We have this mistaken notion in life that progress is like, okay, we have a goal and we start here. And we're gonna make progress. And it's gonna be really neat and really fun. And then eventually, ding, 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 we're gonna reach our goal like it's a straight line. Again, that's some bullshit. That is not how progress works. Here's how progress works. You have a goal and you have an idea. And then you take a step. And then all of a sudden, you take a step back. And then you go around in a circle 2 times. And then you shoot up. And then you go down. And then you inch 2 steps ahead, and then you go back, and you do this whole squiggly line thing, and then eventually, maybe you meet your goal, or you find a whole new goal that was awesome that you couldn't even predicted in the first place. So that's what progress actually looks like, and when we strive for progress, not perfection, all of a sudden you produce a lot more work, it becomes a lot more fun.
It is time for you to stop giving so many ducks about what other people think. In fact, I think you should give 0 ducks. You said other people think that you're confused. So what, my love? If I cared what other people thought about how many things that I wanted to do, I'd still be stuck on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, getting taken to strip clubs and doing shots of woo-woo at like 4 p.m. every day. Sorry, kids. At the end of the day, it is your life. You got to ask yourself, are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Who cares what other people think then? #given 0 ducks.